This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt from Wisefish.
And Mr. Wisefish, why don't you tell everybody about your channel?
Yeah, so I create reviews for classic games and new games, and I've also started branching out into lore videos, and I'll be making more of them soon. I just like talking about all things games, and I also do streams on Twitch as well, so I cover the spectrum.
We need the lore behind Fall Guys.
Oh yeah, that's in the works. I've already got people asking for that. I'm like,
Do you
I
really?
don't know. I know there's one picture that they released the other day that freaked everyone out. That's about it.
And just recently passed the 3,000 mark in subscribers. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I was thrilled. I couldn't believe that.
And by the time this video airs, he'll have 5,000. So, well, that'll be an old comment by then.
Dream. That'd be the dream.
But yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, my goal for this year was 1,000, so
nice.
I'm very happy with that, to be honest. Very happy.
Oh, surprise. That's our goal for this year. We're at 561 or so right now. We'd like to get that, 439 to go to get to that 2,000. Wow, I can't do math. 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, you will. I'm sure you will.
I hope so.
Just need one video. You got a good lineup of people, so.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the lineup, before we get into this, I just want to remind everybody, we have a website that exists. CHRILLCAST.com. If you want to see the guests that are coming on our podcast, you go to guest list. And there you go. Next week's going to be David Cast. Or not next week. The previous week to these episodes is David Cast. The week that this comes out, 10-5 Wisefish, followed by Smash JT, Rocket Sloth, and OEB Pete, and all the rest of the people on this list. But go to youtube.com, CHRILLCAST.com, and go to the guest list to see who's coming up. I got to update this page. I got to remember to do that. Anyways.
It's a great list, though.
Hey, and look at this. Forge Labs. Ooh.
What a legend.
Legend.
Shout out to my man, Forge Labs.
Heck yeah. All right. I'm sure we'll talk about him in a little bit. You want to get rolling through this interview?
Yeah, go for it.
Or as Will calls it, Wildcard Wednesday, Conversations with the CHRILLCAST.
Love it.
I think he stole that from Phil DeFranco, because if you actually go to YouTube and you type in a conversation with, it's already a podcast with Philip DeFranco. Oh, well.
Oh, no. You just outed yourself now.
I just found this out the other day, and I was like, oh, no, Philip DeFranco.
Yeah, of all people.
So
you need to start your conversations with, let's just jump right in, or whatever he says.
Yeah. Let's jump into it.
Yeah,
or is it jump right into it, or jump? I don't know. Whatever.
Whatever he says, you got to copy it now.
Yes, we are the Philip DeFranco clone channel now. The faux DeFranco. What inspired you to create your YouTube channel? And it better not be Philip DeFranco. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, well, actually, funny story. I met Philip. No, I'm joking. So
I was about to believe you too.
Yeah, I wrote out a whole story about it actually. So I studied film directing at university, and I was dying to get into like production quality, production, work and stuff like that. And I started working at a documentary production company, and we were making I was an editor, director, and I wrote the things, which I didn't sign up for originally, but that was part of the job description apparently, is that you write the scripts for the documentaries as well. And so I was doing that, and at first I was loving it. I was creative freedom of making my own things, and then after a certain point I was doing the same types of film and I was getting really bored. It was like really budget stuff. I was just getting bored, and when I was writing scripts, I had like all these YouTubers on in the background, like Hidden Xperia lore videos, Actman, like reviews, and I was just listening to their, all their lore and stuff like that, and the way they write, and I was just like, you know what, I really want to be better at writing for this job that I'm in at the moment. So I thought, why don't I do a YouTube, because I love games and I love watching YouTubers. So I was originally going to do my channel as a H3H3 like commentary thing, where I just talked to a camera, and I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm not funny enough to do that. And then I watched a lot of Skill Up, the game reviewer,
Mm-hmm.
and I just thought, why not just talk about games like that, like my thoughts on that? And so I just started writing, and then I just really got into it. I really loved recording gameplay, writing out scripts about things I like. You know, I love video games, so I thought, you know, I could talk for days about it. And then it just, yeah, I just realized that I loved that more than the job I was in, which I was quickly falling out of favor with. And I just realized that's what I want to do, is just make video game reviews, try and be creative with them, and it improves my writing and speaking skills, because I had a fear of talking in the mic, so
Did you
it
really?
helped me sort of. Yeah, I
never would
hated
have
my own voice.
Never would have guessed that.
See, everyone says that, but like I hate my voice. I've hated it for so many years, and this gave me a chance to build confidence on that, and speak openly with people. Like before, I wouldn't have been able to do this interview. I would have put it off. But I just love talking about games now. So you know, it's really improved me as a person, and I wouldn't change it for the world, really.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, that's why I started it, really.
All right, now we got to answer the second part. Why wise fish?
So this is actually my wife's doing. She came up with the name. Originally, it was my gamer tag, which was the hardcore whale, and I was going on that for ages, and then someone said to me, you know, whale's got a bad connotation with gaming because it means like you spend a lot of money. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that, because here's me talking about, you know, EA's bad, Activision's bad, and my name's the hardcore whale. Conflicting there. So I was like, I need a new name, and I don't know what it was. And my wife just went to me, well, your second name's Salmon, as in the fish. And we're both like, we've got Celtic and some Norse ancestry. It's a long story here. But in Celtic and Norse sort of folklore and stuff, the salmon fish is known as the wise fish, or the fish of wisdom. And I thought, well, if I'm doing reviews, the fish of wisdom makes perfect sense, because then, you know, you've got, you know what you're talking about and stuff. So I just went, what about wise fish? And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. I like the sound of that. So originally it was Wise Fish Gaming, and then I thought, you know, eventually I do want to talk about films and stuff like that, because I trained in film. So I just changed it to Wise Fish so I could cover the spectrum. But yeah, it's called Wise Fish because my second name's Salmon. It means fish of wisdom in Celtic mythology, folklore. So it's a ridiculous thing, but I think it works. So
I think you should do a video and title it WHY_S Fish Gaming.
There you go. That's
like,
on the
why
list
is Fish Gaming?
Why is Fish Gaming? That would be my stream name.
There you go.
Every stream will be Why is Fish Gaming, and then the title.
There you go.
I like that.
Let's see here. That's actually really cool. I didn't, obviously I wouldn't have known your second name or any of that stuff, but it's a really deep lore. In fact, I'll give you that clip if you want. You can throw it on your channel if anybody wants to know.
Yeah, that's it. Well, people have asked before, and I was just like, no, I'm not telling you my second name, but like, there's no way I can explain why my name is Wise Fish without it. I just have a deep love of fish. That's I watched that South Park episode with Kanye West, and I just loved fish sticks.
Hey, you're not the first person that would have been a South Park name. We had a Punch and Pie on there, and he actually but took the name Punch and Pie from a South Park episode.
Yeah, it's great. Why not?
So how would you describe your relationship with social media and YouTube?
That's a great question. I think everyone asks that, really. With YouTube, I don't know. I'm very hit and miss. I love making videos, but it can really destroy you and then excite you. Like, it really changes. Like, some days I'll check my stats, which I shouldn't check every day. Yeah, exactly. It's just up and down all the time. But some days I'll check I mean, I shouldn't check my stats every day, but you sort of just get addicted to it. Like one day you're on a real high, you're growing, you've got subscribers. Like when I hit the 3,000 mark, I was like checking my stats, like, oh, this is great. And then you have a bad day and it really destroys you. Like when I released this one that we're watching now, within like 8 hours, it had 30 views, and I was just like, "Ugh, why did I bother?" But I enjoyed making it. So at the end of the day, like I really enjoy the videos I make. I just need to like distance myself from all the stats, because I just love creating stuff, and YouTube's a fantastic platform for doing that. But it just can ruin you at times when you just see like one video's got 30 views less than the other, and you're like, oh, what did I do wrong? And it destroys you. And social media, I just like to rant on there most of the time, like about different games and things. But I get addicted to that as well. So yeah, I have a bit. I need to distance myself from social media a bit, including YouTube, and just sort of make the stuff I like and just let it go.
Yeah, 'cause I would put your content in what I would describe as evergreen content. Like, I could watch this a year from now and it would still work.
Yeah, well, that was the aim, really. I don't really like. I did want to do news videos, but like if it doesn't do well within that week, it's just that's it. There's no point. No one's going to watch it a year later or anything like that.
You almost
So
have
I
to
always
have a
like to
big
try and-
following ahead of time to do those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just didn't see the point in doing that. I like to make things like a classic game. Why did I like it?
Right.
And I've got the new reviews as well, but I try and make it so I don't mention any dates, like this week, this released, because as soon as you listen to that, you're just like, oh, I'm watching a dated video. It's like, well, it was only like a week ago, but already it feels dated. So I just try and make it so you can watch it at any point, and hopefully people like to binge watch. But I don't know. I've seen a few people say they've watched all of my videos in one go, which is
That's cool.
really heartwarming. That's the thing that keeps going on YouTube. Is like occasional comments you get that are like, "I love your content" and stuff. And I got some patrons that are really, really nice with their messages and stuff. And that's why I love doing it. I just love to talk to people, really, and just make content I enjoy.
Yeah, if anybody ever tells me I just binged all your videos, I'm gonna be like, there's like 300 of them. If you did that, I don't necessarily want to talk to you.
I don't believe you. The
Like,
thing
were you-
I've put on your stuff in the background when I've been editing and stuff like that, because it's just nice to have a conversation going on.
Mhm.
Like I could probably talk to people around me, but I like to listen to other people talking. So yeah, it's just nice, relaxing content, I find.
But yeah. But your content, in my opinion, would be I could probably binge through yours. What do you got? Like, how many videos do you have now?
It's like 50, I think. I don't know. It's not many because
That's
I'm
definitely
so hit and
bingeable.
miss with timing.
I was just trying to get along. Like, yours are bingeable at this point because you've got
Well, by
not
that
300.
point, I've given up. When the thumbnails start to change, that's when I've given up. Because I don't go past that point. The newer stuff is what I prefer.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at ours, I do the same thing. I don't like going back to my old thumbnails, but some of our old stuff is some of our bigger videos. So it's kind of like, I don't know, double-edged sword. Every time we change the thumbnails,
Yeah.
it's like a new branding. And I see you've done the same thing.
I mean, my second most popular video is one that I really don't like. I watched it again, like, oh, maybe it was a good video. That's why people watched it. And I watched about 2 minutes. And I was like, nope, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's horrible. Yeah, the Elder Scrolls one. I watch it back now and just go, oh, no, it's horrible. I got like, you can hear my breathing and stuff like that. I'm like, no, learn to edit, Matt.
Let's see here. So what's your favorite piece of obscure video game lore?
I've been trying to think of what my answer would be for something like that. What do you mean by obscure? Because there's things that I really find interesting.
I guess, what would be your favorite fact about a game you enjoy that maybe most people just like be like, oh, okay, whatever.
I think it's stuff that I don't know really. I find I think it's a lot of the stuff like behind where a studio came from. Like I always found uh, Respawn's growth, their formation, really interesting. Like when I played the original Titanfall, I just thought, oh, this is a good game. Respawn Entertainment, they seem like a good brand. And then you learn that there was the falling out between them when they made Modern Warfare 2. I'm just like, oh man, that's so interesting. And I was like reading into that, and I found it really like, I don't know, things like that where you just like forming of a studio and why they make games. I always find really interesting. Like I always like to know that when people are making games, they're making games because they have a passion to it. So when I look into stuff like that, I'm just like, oh, see, I like these people. Like Respawn Entertainment, I can understand why people love them so much. So I don't know if that's video game lore, but I like the side of the people that create it. Another studio that I really liked looking into was the ones that made Gris, which was the first video I ever made, and like that they made it with a group of 14 people, and like it was less at one point. I was just like, that amazes me that people are so passionate to make a game that they can have such a small team of people just create like a work of art that I think it is. So yeah, it's things like that really.
Have you
Just
seen
behind the game, really.
Have you seen this game?
Pray for the Gods. No, I haven't.
It's like a reimagining of Shadow of the Colossus by a small indie team.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like
I'd love that type of thing, really.
It's on Steam. It's like I think a $30 game right now. It's in early access still.
Oh, still in early access. It looks great for early access, though. It's probably got tons of bugs, but
Guess how big the
looks
team
great.
is that made this?
Oh, it's going to be like 5 people or something like that, isn't it? 3 people. See that? I love that stuff. I love that. But maybe it's because I went to university with some people who made games, so I got an insight into what it's actually like to train to be someone like that. And someone I play games with quite often called Jambu, the mighty Jambu, who I play and stream with sometimes. He works in the industry as well, and so I like getting to know what's going on behind the scenes. And I love Vidocs. I know they're sort of made to look glamorous and stuff. I always find that stuff really, really interesting, like to see what goes on to make the games that we all love and sometimes absolutely hate. I feel bad when I'm like, this is a rubbish video game. I'm just like, oh, about the people that worked in it. I feel really bad. But that's the stuff that really interests me, is the behind the scenes, really.
Kind of like when Halo did that with 3, right?
Yeah.
I thought they did a really great job with that.
Yeah. I mean, their documentaries on the making of it, I always love. I've watched them so many times. Even 4, I quite like the making of that one as well.
I think I was out of there was like a brief period of time in my life where I was too busy in college and video games. I think Halo 4 came out during that time period in my life, and I missed all the Vidocs for 4 and all that stuff. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, I was on it with the marketing and stuff like that for those games. So yeah.
What is your favorite type of content that you produce on your channel?
Oh, that's difficult because I'm currently in the stage where I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to make going forward. I really like doing the reviews, though, to be honest. I wasn't a big fan of the Titanfall one, but I mean, 142,000 people would object to that probably. But I do like going back and playing a game all the way through and then just talking about the things that I liked about it. I mean, I was so excited for the Half-Life Alyx review one, just because I just love playing the game, recording it, and then just going, right, now I'm going to talk about it. So I do love that. But I mean, the latest lore one that I did as well, I love looking into that. But I'm a huge Norse mythology fan. Like, I've read so many books on it and stuff like that. So that for me was interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I just love being creative with gaming stuff, to be honest.
Then you need to cover
playing games.
You need to cover this game on your channel.
So Age of Mythology.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Actually, someone in my stream mentioned it once.
Yeah, it's really good.
I was intrigued by it. So yeah, I might have to pick that up.
Hey, the guys that made the original Halo Wars made that.
Oh, was it? What, Creative Assembly?
No, it's Ensemble Studios.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Probably the best RTS maker in my opinion, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I'll be honest though, I'm bad at RTS games, so that's why I try.
It's not that hard, and there's really good cheat codes if you really get stuck.
Oh, good. So I'll do that, and then talk about it after the cheats. But yeah, I just love playing a game and then going on to talk about it. That's just what I love doing, really.
So, what is your favorite series of games then?
Oof. What are we talking, like favorite franchise or just?
I mean, you know what? Interpret the question in the way that you would prefer to interpret, like and sub. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, that was my. I enjoyed doing that because it's all in VR, so you could just scribble on whatever you want. Favorite game series. That's tricky because there's been so many games that have meant a lot to me. Like, I'd be lying if I said Halo wasn't up there. It's, you know, that was the first proper game that I played. You know, adult game, I suppose, a 16+ game was Halo. I wouldn't say it's my favorite though. I absolutely love it to death, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite game of all time. The same as Half-Life, as we're watching this now. Like, Half-Life's meant a lot to me because I grew up on it as well. I think favorite game series, The Witcher 3, as I said in my best games, The Witcher 3 for me, it's just ticked all the boxes of what I enjoy as a game. I know it's not a series. Well, you had 1 and 2, and I didn't particularly like them, but I do love the whole world of The Witcher. I think the lore, the characters, the way it's written, and the passion that has gone into making that from a very small Polish studio who are so passionate about their own folklore. And then you get a game like Witcher 3, which absolutely blows the world away, like with how well it's done. I just have to admire it for what it did. And so I'd say it's my favorite series, despite the fact that I don't really like Witcher 1 or Witcher 2. I mean, they've got their good moments, but just as an all-round series, I think Witcher's just phenomenal for what it's done to the industry and what CD Projekt Red have done with it.
So we definitely got to cover the fact that what is your favorite Halo game?
Oh yeah, so I don't know if you've watched my. That's a tricky question because every Halo game's got something different that I've liked about it, and that includes 4 and 5. But in my top 10 games of all time, I put Halo Combat Evolved, and I think not because of gameplay or anything like that, but I think just because of how different it was compared to everything else that I've ever played. Like, it was so mysterious when you land on a Halo ring. The atmosphere was so different. You had enemies that were just totally, like, the AI was phenomenal for the time. Their designs were amazing. It was just so new, and the twist of the flood and everything like that. There's so much to love about Combat Evolved that always has me going back to it. And like I said in that video, it's like Halo 3's got the best gameplay for me. Halo 2 had the best story. 4 and 5 are there. ODST had the best tone. But there's something about Halo Combat Evolved that's just so special to me, I think, on a personal level. It's not the best game, but for me, it's really special, I'd say.
Well, and it's that Warthog run is like just legendarily epic.
Oh yeah, totally.
Or as Luke would say, iconic.
Oh yeah, of course, iconic. Yeah, I couldn't do it back in the day. Actually, my dad and I struggled so much doing it. We kept missing the jump. I don't know what we were doing wrong, but my dad just gave up. He's never completed Halo Combat Evolved.
That's funny.
He's never completed it, so he doesn't know what happens.
Did you know there was
it's like second game? So
did you know there was supposed to be a Warthog run at the end of Halo 2?
Yeah, I did hear that, and then they had to change it for, like, I don't know if it was restraints or something like that. Yeah, I did hear about that. I think it was good ending on a boss, even though I wasn't a big fan of the boss battle itself.
Yeah, actually, General he got it restored and put it on his channel.
Oh, did he find
Yeah,
it?
I'll put it on in the background. Shout out to Mr. Heed himself. I'm sure we'll talk about him later. There it is.
I don't know how he does it, to be honest.
He's just really good at that stuff, and he's coming on our channel like to end the year basically, so that'll be fun.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. What are you most looking forward to with Halo Infinite? I'm hoping they have a Warthog run personally, but
We've got to have many Warthog runs because of how big the game is looking, really.
mm-hmm.
What am I looking forward to it? It's difficult to say because like we still don't know much about the game. Like I don't really. I mean, I know it's open world to some extent. I think one thing I'm really interested is, well, I love the Banished from Halo Wars 2. I think they was such a great villain, and they just had such great lore to them and armor. Their design was brilliant. I'm not liking their design as much in Halo Infinite from what I've seen so far, but I do love them as a faction, so I'm excited for that. I'm also looking forward to the Silent Shadow, which, thanks to Hidden Xperia, I know a lot about now. But the Silent Shadow are a really interesting faction, I suppose. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in game. Day and Night Cycle, I really hope that's got a good potential. I'd love to see Silent Shadow roaming at night, like stealthily sneaking up on you and stuff like that. I think the potential of Halo Infinite has got me excited more than anything because I still don't know what this game's about. So I think the potential for it has got me excited more than anything.
Maybe they'll have
And
like
it's just
grunts
yeah,
like
it's just gonna
creepers
say that
with like suicide bombs trying to sneak up on camp.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that they can throw the grunts in the air and just blow them up. I think that's amazing. I think that's really good.
Now, as far as things that you might be kind of worried about, I'm curious how they resolve the created storyline.
Yeah, I know they said it's a soft reboot, but it's like you can't just cut out 2 games worth of, well, I don't know if it's 2 games. Well, yeah, it is 2 games because you've got the Prometheans and stuff like that. You just can't cut that out in a like quick way. You can't just be like, oh, this is one mission and they've gone. It's like you just can't do that. So I am worried that it's gonna completely destroy anything they built up because it's not like it was bad. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the way it was told that was bad, I found. So yeah, that does worry me a little. Is where is the story and why is it going in a new direction, really? Because all we've seen is the Banished, which is great, but you know, where is Cortana and stuff like that?
I am curious if they'll take and like do almost, because they could almost not even resolve it and have like a series of flashbacks as to how it was resolved throughout the game, but it would be so unlike the previous Halo games that I don't know how they would do it.
Yeah, also, I just don't feel like they could do flashbacks with what they're going for with the cinematics because they're going for that sort of God of War type. I'm sure other games have done it, but the God of War type thing where it's just a continuous shot. You know, you go from gameplay to cinematics and stuff. I think that's a really great idea, honestly. So, I don't know how they're going to do it. I just hope they do it in a well-written way.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from, yeah, I don't know. It would be very interesting. I hope it's sort of like a twist like the Flood were in Combat Evolved. I mean, they said they want it to feel like Halo Combat Evolved, so I wonder if there's going to be some twist going on with Zeta Halo and Cortana or the Flood or something like that. So there's so many possibilities, but that's the problem I find with Halo Infinite is that we speculate and speculate and speculate, and then the date gets pushed back further and further, and your expectations are getting bigger and bigger, and then it releases, and none of those expectations have been ticked, like with Mass Effect's ending, and then you're like, oh, I'm a bit upset by that. So
maybe they'll delay it long enough that our expectations will go down.
yeah, yeah, that is true. I mean, it's working for a lot of people, so.
Now the thing that I find most interesting is I've read the Forerunner saga now, and I'm just curious to see if they'll put the proto grave mines in the game.
I mean, I think we're going to see every faction we've ever sort of come into contact with, to be honest. I think they'd be mad not to, really. At this stage where they're trying to make it the biggest Halo ever, why would you not include everything that's been in the external lore? You know, such a huge universe. You can't just limit it to Chief and the Banished. I think it's a bit poor, honestly.
Right.
But they just got to do it in a good way, really. You can't just add everything in and then be like, okay, well, I don't get why this is here, but you know. So I think with Joe Statham, I can't pronounce his second name. With him on board, I think they've got a bit more direction, especially when it's been pushed back to 2021. I don't know how much he can really add to it, like if he's going to rewrite the story, but it'll be interesting to see his input anyway.
I think he's just brought in to kind of like rope in the story. Like maybe they went way too outlandish with the story, and they brought him in to like, all right, guys, group it back in. We can have some DLC later. Let's make this a story.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. My worry about that is like, well, does that mean they have to recreate the levels for those story pieces? Like, what does this mean when he's involved now? Like, that either means they've got to redo a lot of the story, which means that the level designers will have to probably go back into the creating and stuff like that. So there's a bit of worries about how far along this project actually is now. Or they said it's an old demo, but it's like, well, even the gameplay trailer was just the same part of the level. So what other levels are there? That's what worries me the most, I think.
Well, it could honestly just be for the ongoing story updates. That's what I think either Hidden Xperia was saying, or one of those guys was saying that they thought they might have brought him in for the continue. It actually might have even been Will. You know, I don't remember. Somebody said like it could just be like for the continuation as the game goes on, so that the story doesn't get out of control with all the updates and the live service type stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I think he will, because he's got more of a managerial role at Microsoft now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't imagine him just being like, right, this is what the story is doing now. I think it is more of a long-term thing,
right?
That he's in for. But I'm just intrigued to see what happens in the long run. I just want to see more. That's what I want to see. I don't like seeing things through toys. And I'm so sick of seeing Shadow, like Silent Shadow are coming out for toy. I'm like, oh great! I wanted to see that in game. Like, the worst thing is if they announce the Flood through a toy, like a plush.
I mean, I would still be happy, but
I'd be happy, but like, I want that reveal. I want to be shocked at them.
I want to see somehow at the end of this game, and even if it becomes a live service update later, I want to see an actual Primordial as like the final boss.
That would be interesting, because Primordials are so weird. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they'll be in game.
You mean the precursors? Because the Primordial is a specific precursor.
Oh yeah. I'm getting confused now. I've forgotten the lore. I can't remember which one's the Primordial again.
He's the one he's basically the bad guy in the Forerunner saga. That he's the reason why the Flood started infecting humans on Zeta Halo.
Oh yeah,
because he's running the experiments with mendicant bias.
That's right. There's those. Of course, I've seen the pictures so many times.
Logic Plague. Does that ring some bells?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's all coming back now. That could be very interesting. Wasn't he like in the stasis thing, though? Time sealed into that.
Well, they turned him into dust by like speeding up time, but
that's
the
right.
Dust that he becomes is the same dust that becomes the Flood when you infect. Like that was how the Flood.
Yeah.
So if you get an advanced enough Flood, then essentially you would think a precursor like the Primordial could come out of it. So I don't know.
Technically, the Grave Mind is the precursor, isn't it?
It's got the minds of the precursors within it.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, it's great, interesting lore, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
I just don't know how you can add it into the game, but I'd love to see it in game, and not done in a Halo 4 type way where they get a cutscene that has so much information in about 5 minutes. And like, oh, what did I just watch? But hopefully, it's done in a really good way.
Mm-hmm.
I'd imagine they could. I think they've got a good writing team at the moment.
Now, speaking of Halo, since we've been talking about it for a little bit here, I'm going to change this question since you already kind of answered it. What's your least favorite game in the Halo series?
Ooh. I think the one that I never really go back to is Halo 4. I did like parts of the story. I did like the way some of the bits were done. I just didn't really enjoy it. Like I can't sit through the game to get the story again, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I happily watch the cutscenes again. I cannot put myself through those Promethean levels. I really hate them as an enemy. They're so random.
I don't like Prometheans either.
I just didn't like the level design as well. It was so narrow and everything like that. Same as 5, really. I don't know. I just think all round it's a game that I just don't really go back to. Even the multiplayer. I know people say Big Team Battle is pretty good. I'm just not into it really. I'd rather play Halo 5 multiplayer.
I am really enjoying that one the second time through, by the way.
What's that, Halo 5?
The campaign, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it had a lot of potential. I just think there was a lot of things rushed, and it didn't help that the advertising was a bit all hit and miss with what they were trying to tell. I don't know. I just think they tried to go too far, and it was a bit too much. But I love the multiplayer for Halo 5. I just don't see it as a Halo game, if you know what I mean. It felt better as a spin-off. I love ODST though. I keep going back to that one.
Like, imagine you could probably replace the Chief in Halo 5 and Cortana with any random AI and have a pretty good sci-fi game.
Yeah, I mean the one on screen just then. I can't remember his name. The orange one.
Locke, right? Or you're talking about the other AI? Okay.
The AI that's on the Infinity. It's just I don't know what his name is. But just have him as the Cortana. Really.
I can't think of what his name is off the top of my head.
Roland.
That's right.
That's it. Yeah. But yeah, it would have been better if you just did a spin-off game of Locke. Quite honestly, because then you could have had the mobility, you could have had the all of that new Spartan tech stuff, and it kind of would have made sense. And you probably would have grown to like Locke to some extent. I just don't feel like it fits Master Chief's story in any way, and it did Blue Team a disservice really, because there's such an interesting group of individuals, and they just weren't utilized in a fun way, in my opinion. So yeah, I do hope they get sort of revived in a nice way, Blue Team, because they are very interesting, but we'll just have to see what they do, I guess.
I've heard they might drop some other Spartan teams on the ring at some point during this game, but we'll have to see. I mean, especially if it's a live service type game, you could have multiplayer with multiple people dropping in for the team kind of a thing. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to see. It's so up in the air. It's like, it's ridiculous, really.
Let's see here. So which of your game series that you cover do you think brings the most people to your channel? And I know it's one video, but do you think the biggest driving force for your channel right now?
Oh yeah. Oh totally. Titanfall 2 is just like a godsend, really. Like, I think it's because loads of people really loved that game, and it just was never talked about that much at the time. Like, I know tons of YouTubers, like, I got so many comments on there just like, why weren't you talking about this when it came out? I was like, well, first of all, I wasn't a YouTube channel back then, but it's like, but also, you know, I was playing the game at the time, so I think tons of people love that game and they want a third one, because it was really something different, and it's paved the way for things like Call of Duty, because they did tons of mechanic style things to it, and so I think people just want to watch like was it just me, or was that good really? Was that game really that good? And a lot of people have like commented on it, like, this is exactly how I feel about the game. Like, it deserved more praise. I will say though, everyone keeps having a go at me because I said it was underrated. I don't mean it in terms of like ratings. I just meant in terms of popularity. Like, not enough people were buying it at the time. That's what I meant by underrated. Not that IGN didn't give it a 9 out of 10 or anything like that.
I understood what you meant by the title.
I got so many comments getting angry at me, and they're just like, it wasn't underrated. I was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. It's like, but yeah, I think Titanfall brings in the most amount of people. I can't. Halo does as well. Halo's a big one. I think it's got such a huge community. They love watching anything Halo. So I think that really brings in a lot of people. So yeah, there it is.
Just to be clear.
Just to be clear. Oh man, it was like the 50th one as well. I don't know why it got so many likes. It's just like, I know, I get it. I think one of them I got so irritated with, I started getting like links to dictionaries about what the term underrated mean, and had to delete the comment after a while because I was getting too heated about it.
What is this comment? Did you enjoy playing Titanfall? Ah, yes, the floor here is made out of floor.
I think he's saying it's the obvious or something like that.
Oh.
Stating the obvious.
I was like, wait, what? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I did that when I saw the comment in the morning. I was like, what's this guy talking about?
Am I hungover or what?
yeah, where am I?
What's the weirdest comment you've gotten on this video, do you think? Or haven't you had a chance to look at all of them yet?
I don't know. Early on, there was far too many to, like, when it started growing in views, there was far too many to keep up with. I tried to like as many or heart as many as possible. I think some of the ones that were angry at me for making the video, like, you know, oh, you could have done this at the time. You're such a sellout. You're trying to make so much money off this. And I was like, dude, I literally have 400 subscribers when I upload a video. I don't make any money. What are you talking about? They're having a go at me, just like, I'm just trying to ride the wave. And I was like, I was just making a video about a game I enjoyed. I didn't expect this to blow up. So I think some of the angry comments were the funniest to read. Some of the spelling errors as well were just quality to look at. Really. Someone's really got a point when everything's got like a full stop in the middle of a word or something like that.
I think the worst thing I've had happen to my channel, our channel, is
it is your channel now.
It's mine now, yeah. Will. No, we had a guy mass flag one of our videos because they didn't like our guest, and I was like, really?
Oh wow!
What was the
Seriously,
point of that?
It's so petty.
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, I had not recognized at the time what video is playing in the background, and so when I thought about appealing it, I remembered what video is playing in the background during that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna blur that one out, and then we'll re-upload it.
Good idea.
So, but anyways,
I've had my work when I did a live stream of Halo 3 when that came out for PC. I tried to set an atmosphere before I played the game of just the Halo music with the countdown, and some random bloke just copyright striked it. I was like, are you serious? Because
really?
I had the Halo music playing, and he tried to claim that he was, he was part of the label that owns the Halo 3 music. I was like, dude, I know you don't. It says on the wiki. So I tried to shut it down, but that stream just got demonetized. So I was like, oh, forget it. But it's so frustrating. I was just like, just because you didn't like that I had that at the beginning.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that sucks.
Yeah.
I've had Atlas copyright 2 of my videos, and I'm like, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. It's so petty. Like,
well, it's like, you want people to play this game online or not? I guess not.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, surely there's a balance between good publicity and just, I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
So do you ever feel pinned down on what games you can cover on your channel?
Oh, yeah. All the time. But then I'm still like learning what content I want to make and what people want to watch. I'm always trying to ask people like, what games do you want me to cover? But sometimes when I think I don't want to turn this into a console war because I hate console wars, but sometimes I do worry that I've had a lot of people coming in from Halo content, and so when I do a God of War video, it's like, oh, I don't like that because that's Sony, and I'm just like, but it's a good game. Like, it doesn't matter who made it; it's a good game. So I do feel like some of the well, not PlayStation games, but some games do badly because of that console war feeling still, and I think it's ridiculous. Maybe they just aren't popular on YouTube or something, but I do feel like sometimes people are so prejudiced to what box they play a game on that it takes away from what makes a game good. I know people are endlessly hating on The Last of Us, but I was trying to be critical about that. But I mean, that video did pretty well. But there are other videos that I've made. I'm just like, oh, people really just do not care about this game, and that's pretty sad because it's either a really good game or I'm trying to be critical of it or something like that. I'm trying to think of some games that I've covered, but yeah, God of War. I've made 2 videos on that game now, trying to tell people why I love it so much, and both times it's been like no one wants to watch. I'm like, I really don't get it.
Well, you know, you can look at those videos as like a tie-in to your channel for people that aren't already subscribed.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, it's still early days, so again, I'm just trying to make videos on games I enjoy, and if people find it later down the line, then perfect. But when I look at the stats for the uploads at the moment, I do find that there are some games that people just not refuse to watch, but just aren't that interested in watching, which I can understand. Third-person action adventures aren't for everyone at the end of the day, but I find them interesting. That's what I feel anyway. Half-Life's another one that's weird, actually. I always thought Half-Life had a big following, but both of those videos didn't do amazingly, so
I think it's dwindling down a little bit, and there's already quite a few big content creators that have put out everything they know about Half-Life. So like it's a pretty saturated subject in regards to like historically saturated, not necessarily currently saturated, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's a tricky one because Valve is like their games are much more. I don't want to offend anyone, but they are much more mature games. Like, you know, they've been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes the audience for them may not be the people that are necessarily watching YouTube videos on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Or if they are, they have very dedicated Half-Life content creators, as you say. So yeah, it's a tricky one because it's a shame because I love talking about those games because they offer so much, but they are tricky ones to find new people to watch. Whereas things like, you know, Halo, people will love watching just Halo creators constantly, and that's great because you've got an active community at all times, and they're just fun videos to watch, really, Halo videos.
And I will say this: when we first started that trend of having a bunch of Halo creators on our podcast, there was a serious conversation that Will had with me about maybe potentially going full-time Halo, and I was like, nope. We'll stick to variety.
It's so difficult right now, though, to go full-on Halo. Like, I see some smaller Halo channels on Twitter, Twitter, and they're just sort of like, oh, growth is really difficult. I'm just like, the problem is it's been 5 years since a Halo game. Like, even the bigger YouTube Halo guys are finding it difficult to make stuff because you're just running out of stuff until till it comes out.
Is this who you're talking about?
Yeah, this guy, yeah.
Hey guys, go subscribe to him. YouTube.com/ is that a letter in front of his name?
No, that's the Z, I think, isn't it?
No, there's another letter in front of the Z. I don't know if that's an I or an L, but it's, if you just type in ZEJIK, you can find him, and I believe it's pronounced Zayik, but I could be wrong.
Zayik, I think. Yeah.
In my mind, I pronounce it Zajik.
Nice guy.
But
Zajik could be.
But
I don't know.
But if you listen to his videos, I'm pretty positive it's pronounced Zayik or Zayik, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But he does good videos, and He doesn't get as many views as I think he deserves, and my other friend Aresh would probably agree with that as well. So.
Oh, totally. Yeah, he's a good close friend with Uresh, I believe.
Yeah, they've been friends for a while.
Yeah, I do feel bad because, like he said, he's been on for 5 years on YouTube making content, and YouTube's just not favoring his stuff. And I just feel awful because, I mean, you could be so passionate about Halo and stuff like that, but the algorithm's just is not kind to small creators. Really, you really got to know titles and descriptions and tags, and I don't know what I'm doing half the time either. So.
There we go. I'll leave him a comment. You're getting a shout out in our video with Wise Fish Game. Well, Wise Fish, not Wise Fish Gaming. There we go.
I already followed him on Twitter and was just sent him a message. But I do like it. I didn't just subscribe as a pity thing. I did watch a few videos and I did really like them.
No, he's got good videos. I've subscribed a long time ago at this point. I think it was when we had Aresh on our podcast. I subscribed during the podcast.
Oh, right, yeah. There you go. It's just always nice. I always find it's just nice to support people. Like,
yeah,
if you just stick a video on in the background or stick someone's stream on in the background. Like, you don't have to engage in the chat at all times. It's just nice to be there and share a link and stuff like that. That's what I think it should be about. I don't think we should be competing for views and subscribers and stuff like that, or we'll get nowhere.
So the last thing that I want to kind of cover before we get to the very last thing, we kind of already started down this road. What are some content creators that you really enjoy?
Oh, there's so everyone I work for.
Well, instead of giving away your entire clients list.
yeah. Well, that's difficult because they're the people I watch. But, so I think the ones that really made me want to like make videos would be SkillUp, who does video game reviews, Hidden Xperia, of course.
I can't believe I'm not subscribed to SkillUp. I swore I was. That's weird.
I know. Oh, you gotta love the Aussie. He's so good. He's so down to earth, I find. I'd love to meet him one day, but we'll see. Maybe when I'm at his level.
Who redesigned Hidden Xperia's logo?
He had a group of people, I believe. I think it's Pixel there does the 2D elements.
Okay.
LZ Edits, I think his name is, does the new branding at the beginning of the videos. I don't think he's on YouTube though.
Must not be.
I think he's just
You
like,
said Actman, right?
Freelancer. Oh yeah, Actman was one of the ones that I saw the way he laid out. Oh, he's uploaded his new video. Right, well, that's cool. Watch that later. He's another one that just I loved the way he laid out his videos and everything like that. And I just wanted to be like him. I'm not nearly as funny as him. Well, I don't add any funny elements actually. But I love his videos. I've got Roanoke, who's been a really good friend. Roanoke Gaming, yeah. There he is.
Hey, I am subscribed to that one. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. He supported me when I was at 50 subscribers.
That's cool.
And yeah, he's just been really. We're still trying to do a collab. We're trying to find a game that we actually want to talk about together. Wow, Such Gaming is a absolute gentleman of a person.
He's coming on our podcast in the future, by the way.
Yeah, he's.
I'm not subscribed to him. The heck?
Oh, these people are mounting. Well, Such Gaming. Forge Labs is a real dear friend as well.
I'm gonna feel really bad if I don't have him in my subscriptions.
Oh, here we go. Moment of truth. No good. He's gonna hit 1 million soon. I know it easily. There's so many others that I'm probably gonna forget. CHRILLCAST, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna help you.
I feel
real
like
quick.
Installation 00. He's great as well. There's so many. There's so many people. I feel like I'm gonna miss out, but I think the ones that have been really supportive and we talk regularly are ones that I happily watch their videos for ages, and they're the people that I've just mentioned really. Halo Cannon's another one. Haven't spoken to him, but I love his videos. Arash I speak to quite often as well. We'll go for days, to be honest, on this. There's so many. I just think anyone who speaks their mind about games and doesn't try and like clickbait you, or they actually put their points across really well. They're creative and stuff. I just love their content. And the guys that I mentioned, they're just really nice. They've been very supportive of the channel, and they're just lovely people to speak to. They seem down to earth and not money hungry for fame and stuff like that. So I think that's what makes a YouTube content creator stand out more than anything for me. Is like if they're down to earth.
There's nothing more off-putting than content creators that do gatekeeping.
Yeah. I don't. I just feel like I don't fit in with those people. Then
Right.
It's like, why do I want to subscribe to this if I don't feel like I'm connected? Oh, Game Maker's Toolkit is probably one of the ones that inspires me the most to make content. Because he's British as well, but he's worked in the industry and he's really like on it with how games work, and he does a lot of stuff for charity as well.
I've never heard of him. I'm gonna subscribe and check him out.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, when I subscribed back in 2018, he had like 300,000. So in 2 years, he's almost made a million subscribers. So, but his editing,
it's a lot like this with YouTube.
Yeah, that's what it seems to do. I mean, I remember when I subbed to Hidden Xperia and he was on 200,000, and now he's on double that. Roanoke again, when he subscribed to me at 50, he just passed 100,000, and now he's on 300,000. So, it's just crazy, really.
Well, when I subbed to Chris Raygun, he had like 40,000 or something.
Yeah, that's just insane. And now he's what, 600,000?
He's getting close to 700,000. He's close.
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh, Installation 00's had like 40,000 subscribers since we had him on our podcast.
Yeah, he blew up instantly. Like, I remember him just... Sorry, that's my dog. He's barking at me now. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Installation 00 just suddenly appeared on Twitter, and people were like liking all this stuff, and I checked out his channel, and suddenly he was a thing. I was like, wow, that's insane. He just grew overnight. But you can understand why, because he makes interesting content.
Aresh has tripled his subs since I think he was on our podcast. So maybe it's our podcast that's
it. I expect 10,000 by the end of this year now.
There you go, yeah.
I'll be there with Skyrim.
Probably the one thing that I think a lot of people don't value that they should more often than I've seen most people on the internet is like just networking. Simple networking can get you so much farther if you have good content to start with.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, like, I've seen some people that I think, oh, that content's a bit not bad. It's just not my cup of tea. But then their personality and, they interact with you on the stream, or they're nice, and they talk to you on Twitter if you message them or something like that. And that appeals to me. It's like, well, you've got a sub from me, even though your content isn't necessarily the thing that I particularly watch. I don't know if that's damaging, because then technically you're not watching their content. But at the same time, I feel like, you weren't a supporter, because I will recommend you to other people because, you seem like a really down-to-earth person. So maybe I'm damaging so many people's YouTube channels by subscribing and not watching, but hopefully.
No, you know what? I think a subscriber number, like the amount of subscribers you have, as long as you're getting a lot of views still, can be helpful. Because if you have, like, let's say somebody's got 1,000 subscribers and somebody's got 50, and they make the same video or the same content, what are you more likely to watch?
Yeah.
So just, I can say this: our subscribers, we only get like 40% of our subscribers watching our videos. It's like 60% are non-subscribers.
Yeah, but still, I mean, that's better than most. I mean, the average is about 20 to 30, I think.
No, I just mean like views wise. 60% are non-subscribers, 40% are subscribers.
Oh, right. So just got to get people subscribing.
I know, right?
It's so difficult, though, because you don't want to beg, but at the same time, it's just like it's a button click. Come on.
I am gonna make a video. I don't know when it's coming out yet, but I'm making a video. I'm gonna say our goal is 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Let's get it. Let's make it happen, CHRILLCAST people.
You never know. That may be the video that gets like 500,000 views or something like that.
I'll just title the video, Mr. Beast orders you to ...
That's what I was just about to say. Mr. Beast will pick it up or something like that.
Or I'll just entitle the video, Dear Mr. Beast.
Yeah. Be £10,000 to take it down or something like that. I'm done.
Anyways, last question is there anything that you would like to ask me, since Will and Timmy and Billy aren't here, or anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to talk about?
I don't know. We've been talking for an hour, so I feel like people will probably be bored of my ramblings. But I don't know. I think the only thing I would say, what do you think? I know you did this with Skyrion a few days ago, but what do you think I could possibly do with my content? Because sometimes I feel like I'm at a roadblock, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, do you think there's any advice for me?
I think you do need to work on getting collabs, and not like in a bad way. Just like, I think collaborations do draw audiences that wouldn't normally have looked for your stuff, because especially if the collaboration is mutually beneficial, right? Like, we tried to do a lot of collaborations and have guests on because it's interesting for the subscribers, and it brings in different people that wouldn't normally watch our podcast, and then one or two of those people hopefully subscribe, but overall, I do think collaborations brings in new eyes to your content. And then if you could find somebody that covers like God of War already to do a collaboration on God of War with you, they may go back and watch your other 2 God of War videos or your Half-Life videos. Find somebody big in the Half-Life community that you enjoy watching, like, bring something to the table with them to get them over to your podcast. Or your podcast, I do a podcast, to get them over to your videos. What was really cool when we did the collaboration with Installation 00 was he took the first 8 minutes of our video, put it up on his channel, said, hey, if you want to watch the rest, go to their channel. And it was like instantly 200 subscribers. Like, holy cow, So a collaboration where you guys, and he does a lot of these 2-parter videos, which I find really cool, where he'll do like one half of a lore video, and then like the second half will be on somebody else's channel. Like, he did that with Hidden Xperia, and that was really cool.
Yeah. Hidden's good at that, actually, because he does it with Roanoke a few times. Like, they did the Chief versus the Marauder from Doom.
Oh, yeah.
And that was interesting. And one took one side and one took the other. So, yeah. It's an interesting way of doing it, actually. So
that might have been where my Face Off Friday idea came from.
Oh, yeah. Hey, just outed yourself again.
We do it in a podcast format, but yeah, I guess that would be my advice. I always say networking can always help you. There's very few instances where networking hurts you, and usually if you just are networking with the wrong people, then maybe that would be.
That's it. Yeah.
He's like,
oh, wait a minute. These are the guys I like.
Got to clear these guys out of my phone. Whoops.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like these people at all.
Untitled Goose Game's going multiplayer, so that might be cool. Do a collaboration on that. Like, what's the lore behind the Untitled Goose Game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Anyway. I'd happily cover that.
Well, thank you for doing the interview, and we'll continue on with the other 2 segments tomorrow and Friday. And for those of you that missed Monday and Tuesday, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but Wise Fish is on the channel. Dude, big guy, get on it. Watch the videos.
Check it out.
As always, I'm Chris.
I'm Matt from Wise Fish.
And we will see you on the next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.